What's up, everybody? Eric here, Traveling Trading. So, making this quick video here for you guys because a lot of you have been asking me today to kind of do this. So, I figured I'd take some quick time here to kind of go through this for you guys. It is Monday, September 8th. Football is back, and apparently, so is the stock market. After today's trade, I'm just going to recap this thing here. It was a great day today with OCTO. And as you guys seen in the free Facebook group and everything like that, if you've seen the post, close to 30K today. This isn't normal, okay? This trade was not normal, but we're gonna cover this. In fact, I might not even trade the rest of the week, to be honest with you, depending on how things going. If I don't see no A plus setups, I'm not gonna trade. But this is basically set me up pretty much for the whole month of September. Is already, rocking and rolling for me, which is good. So everything else is going to be play money from here on out. But what we're going to do here, real quick, guys, because I was trying to do this here before the halftime because it is Monday Night Football and my Vikings are playing. So, what I was going to try to do here, real quick, is just kind of cover the trade for you guys because a lot of you sent me questions about it. And then what I'll do here is just kind of go over, excuse me, my strategy a little bit. This isn't going to be super detailed or informative because it would be a lot to cover, but I'm just going to kind of recap it. So, for those of you who are asking. We're going to jump into it. And now, again, guys, this isn't financial advice. I'm not here to be doing any of that. You can make your trades. This isn't, investment advice. This is only just for entertainment and educational purposes only. So do your due diligence on your own, okay? Not responsible for any gains or losses you have. But also, too, for those of you guys who aren't in the alerts, if you're not subscribed to alerts, or if you were with alerts and stopped working with them, blah, 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 what doesn't matter, clearly this stuff works. So we're gonna cover this here for you guys, and I'll touch on that. But yeah, if you're not in them, you might want to get into them, guys. You're missing out on plays like this all the time. Don't have to spend your time searching and try to finding and building your own stuff. That's what this is here for, to kind of tell you, hey, go look at this stock. It's probably gonna fit one of your trading strategies, and then execute from there. Okay. Um, and then we'll cover this and I'll go into some other questions you guys might have and then knock it out. I'm going to get back to the game, okay? But boom, let's go jump into it. OCTO today. Great trade today. Great today. We got that first alert was around, I want to say $3.20 is when we got it. Is that what it says? Yep, $3.20. Um, so yeah, between that and other stocks that were on the watch list, I mean, you guys had a lot of opportunity today. But we wanted to focus on OCTO for those of us who did. So boom, 320 right around this time frame is when you got the alert, which is great. Support was established. If now again, like I tell you guys in the course, stocks is going crazy in the course. Um, Make sure when you're trading, separate your time frames, right? I didn't get into this stock until $3 until $20. It went from 320 in pre-market to $20 coming like opening bell, guys. So I know some of you were asking that too. Like, yeah, I've seen it before then, but I didn't get in until $20. That's how long it took me to decide to actually execute this trade. So one quick little tidbit, unlike all these other gurus and traders and all that good stuff and services you guys want to tell me about with like other alerts and things like that, that's fine and dandy. Everyone has their own different thing, right? With me and my trading and these alerts here, guys, you'll never see me get into the trade at a dollar price before it was even alerted. Here it was $3.20. I didn't get into it until $20. You had a whole bunch of hours to even get into this trade before me to before that. So unlike these other people who like pump and dump, they'll tell you, oh, a stock is about to run, it doesn't run, and then you get into it and it shoots up and then it crashes out. I don't do that, guys. I wait for my setup, right? Like you're not the alerts are not to tell you when to get into a trade and when to get out of a trade. It's tell you to look at a trade because it's going to possibly fit the criteria that you're looking to do as a trader because that's what these alerts are. It's like, hey, look at this, decide if it's going to fit your strategy and execute. Not telling you to get in, not telling you to get out. You got to decide what's right for you. That's going to be important. That's why I teach you guys how to develop your own strategy. I'm not teaching you my strategy. I'm not teaching you Bob's strategy. I'm not teaching you Mike's strategy. I'm teaching you your own how to develop your own strategy so that you can do this on your own without even having to do this. The alerts are just there for support, so you don't have to spend your time maneuvering things to find the best trades to do. That takes a lot of time too. So it's cutting down a lot of that. But and even teaching your own strategies. You can follow other strategies if you want, but they might not fit you as a trader, and that's why you're failing at it because every trader is different, right? But to my point, I didn't get into this thing until $20, and this thing was first alerted at $3. Over a 3,000% gain. No, I think it went over like 4,000 a day. I don't know. It was a lot. But anyways, you're going to see here in a second. So anyways, it built up, support, boom, right before pre-market, boom, still in pre-market, climbing all the way up to like $9. It just kept shooting up and shooting up and shooting up. Imagine just keep getting alerted. Even if you just traded in pre-market, you would have made out pretty decently from $3 to $21. You had that kind of time frame in between then to possibly profit. Okay, and here comes the opening bell. Boom, it gets halted right here. Then it just shoots up. I'm just going to give you guys a whole long overview of this play and how it went out all the way up to what 80 something dollars, and then all the way into the end of the day and start to fade out as it should, which it normally does. And I'll kind of cover my position in trading what I was thinking during that time frame, and then I'm gonna go through these quick questions for you guys, and then we're out of here, okay? But let's go ahead and jump into it where I was at. I know it would probably be long for me to explain it all, but I'm gonna just cover as much of it as I can. So I think I got in at like close to $21, right? It was like $20.80 here, which was it was right before the halt, which kind of made me upset until I seen level two and saw that buyers were coming in. I'm like, okay, great, that's perfect. So I think it was like a right around, yeah, 284. That's where I got in at, guys, at this range right here. Now stop. Let's take a look here. Entering this right entrance would be normally crazy, like financial suicide, right? You would think that. Why? Because to the average trader who don't know any better, you would say, why would you enter in this stock at $20? Look at that. You're like at the very high. So you're like, remember, you're not going to know any of this is happening, right? You're getting in the trade at this point right here. Sorry if the volume weighted average price indicators in your way, but remember, you don't know what's happening here, but and you're entering this trade here. Why? Why would you do that? Pre-market, you already went way high in pre-market. You're not really at much level of support. Your risk to reward looks really, really bad. Well, one, it would not, you would normally think that if you didn't have all the things that are telling you like, hey, there's still bullishness here, even at this pricing point, right? So look at this. When I got into this bad boy, sorry the screen isn't as big as it normally is. I'm on the smaller screen right now. When I got into this bad boy at the $20 and change, look at what you're seeing here as far as my oscillators go. If you don't know about these oscillators, I'm not going to cover them right now. I teach them to you in the course. You should know by now, but at this point right here, it's telling me breakouts coming. Even and that's probably why it got halted like right there. If you look at the candlesticks before it, why is this line here? Let me try to get this out of the way. Oh, that must be the yeah. All right, I gotta change that later. All right, so if you look at the candlestick before it, study these candlesticks, guys. That helps you out a lot too. So this right here, opening bell. So remember how I told you, section your trading off into your time frames: pre-market, opening bell, and after hours. You can use pre-market as a guide, but it's not your all-in-all kind of thing. So even though pre-market is showing like, hey, you're at the high, remember that's pre-market. Volume is going to start coming. This is opening bell. This is a few minutes after the opening bell. So with that being said, I knew in the opening bell, traders are usually want to take their profits, which is a lot of times going to send the stock dropping, at least a few minutes into it, right? However, when that happens, oh, there was a lot of support here. And these isolators here were showing me that that was building up there before the halt. So I got into it at that point. And then because of what I was seeing in this area here as a new level of support, my risk to it, think about it. If I'm in at $21, I can let it drop to pre-market levels because the pre-market levels was what, 15 bucks for the previous high from there. Before that was what, $10? That's not a bad risk to reward ratio to me to what could potentially happen. And I'm not even going to know what's going to happen here, right? All I know is that, hey, the alert told me that $3.20, look at it. And then we also got the news catalyst for it. So you got more than enough support there at that point. You got a pretty decent setup here because it's telling you like, hey, not only are all these are saying the same thing, but even this right here, the price action in these candlesticks are saying, hey, support is there. Or sorry, oh, why is it doing this? This small screen is different to navigate on. But again, the price action is showing me here like, hey, we've exhausted all the selling for now. Buyers are coming in. People got the notification. They know what's happening with this stock. So I'm getting into it. Then it got halted, right? Halted up. I'm like, great, this is awesome. Now, what happens here, guys? Some of you, if you're a scalper, you can take your profits. That's fine. I know based on my oscillators, momentum is still coming in here. Even candlesticks like this that might want to fake you out, and that's a lot of traders get messed up at. They don't have isolators tell them that, hey, momentum is still there. I have no reason to get out this trade at this moment because it's still showing me bullishness. And look at this bad boy. First initial pop, it went all the way up to 50 something, right? Now here, a lot of people get faked out because the greed is, their greed are like, oh, it's starting to die down. I want to get out. Here, they might do it again as well too because you're seeing more than one isolator, starting to squeeze. And yeah, it's starting to come down. So at this point, you're thinking, oh, let me go ahead and take my profits, right? I would normally be too if that was my intention. However, because I'm in the green, I have no reason to get out. I know that this pullback has to come here because we've extended the price over, right? Now the pullback has to come to show me the level of support. Where's it establishing new level of support? Here. Here's one indication, right? The red there. Now it's starting to turn yellow, which means it's slowing down, right? So it's starting to build back up. And then it tries to pop, doesn't pop. And it comes back down. Now here is where you want to pay attention to, where you might potentially want to start taking your profits because it's starting to turn back down again. However, I'm in a good position where I'm still up, what, an extra 10 bucks. And mind you guys, I'm trading 500 shares, right? So still decent amount. I'm not shying away from that. I'm willing to take my profits when it's at $25, $26, a quick little $5 gain on a $20 stock at this point. Because it ran all the way up to 50 something. So I know it's not going to come back down that far without having to show something to die off with it. And you just know that from studying price action and watching stocks and stock charts as well too for so long. So I know the pullback here is showing me, boom, this is some support at $35. That's good. So what am I waiting for? Another run and pop. Is it going to happen here? Nope. Starting to die down too. But guess what? It's still not breaking 35 for some reason. I'm willing to wait for it to break 35. I'm willing for it to come back down to the 20s. It's not touching that previous high yet. It's not going below support, and it's not breaking this previous high, which again, my previous high is at $32. So even coming from here, that would have been still a nice little gain for me. I'll be happy the stock did that because I was there. Yeah, would I have been mad if I would have, missed out on all this? Yes, but no, because that wasn't my initial target. It's just green for me. It's just, extra play money for me. I want to at least take my initial profits, which would have been right here. But because the stock kept showing support, there was no reason for me to get out. So I just stayed into it and then stayed into it some more. More momentum came in, and guess what? Boom. It just kept going and going. It halted up here. Could I have taken profits right here at this, right after the halt? Yes, but let's let it play out because I'm still in the green. What do I have to, I mean, unless I want to be greedy, I'm not greedy. So after it gets halted, it comes back out, boom. It's going to try to take away all that profit it had right there, right? The sellers are going to come in. And these are for the sellers who probably at one point touched right here, was grinding out all throughout here, and they were waiting for another pop. And guess what? They were like, okay, now that it popped, I'm going to go and sell off. Well, guess what? There was more buyers waiting for that to happen. And now they're buying in and stepping in and moving the price back up. Which then at this point, I'm like, okay, you know what? I need to take my profits. So I took my profits around 70 something dollars. I didn't quite nail the high, which was like 83 or something like that, but I was pretty close, guys. But that's again because I just stuck in the trade, and now as you can see, it's grinding out, grinding down, it's crossing, VWAP and EMAs, and now it's going back down into the bearish side. So that's pretty much how that trade played out there for me. It's a lot to go into. Again, I'm not going to go into too much detail with it, but that's how my trade played out. I had no reason to get out the trade. Was confident with it. A lot of that does come down to not only just my strategy and knowing my risk to reward, because you should be knowing what your strategy is. You should be knowing what you should enter in at and what you should exit at. If you don't know that, you need to go back and redo your strategy. You don't need to be flipping and flopping strategies just because one time it didn't work or two times it didn't work, right? This is what the whole purpose of backtesting is, and I tell you guys in the course, and I show you guys how to do it and develop your own, but you should be doing that, okay? And your strategy isn't going to be complete unless you're journaling it and keeping track of it. And not only that, you need to be understanding your psychology of it. For me, wasn't no point. I know how traders act. I know how traders move. There was no reason for me to get out the trade because it wasn't in my area of profit take. It was above it. So I was playing with house money. House money just paid me again because traders don't know what they're doing, right? But you got to fall in love with the process of learning your strategy and understanding that and the psychology behind it for you and for other traders as well too, and market makers. Everyone is against you when it comes to this market. That's just how it works. So, with that being said, that was how my trade played out, guys. almost a $30,000 day. It was 29,000 and change. You'll see it in the Facebook group. If you don't, go look at the post in the Facebook group. It's in there. I screenshot it when I take my profits. I screenshot it, boom, and I exit. That's it. All right, no need to sit around. So hopefully that helped you guys out. And this was a crazy trade. I mean, a lot of you guys made money in the group. I was seeing you talking about that. It was pretty cool. So I'm happy you guys banked on that. But I'm gonna go through these quick questions here for you guys and hopefully answer them. And then I got to get back to the game. Okay. So let's go ahead and start with some of the first ones. Who was asking? Okay. So Sally, was it Sally? Okay. So someone asked, did I scale into the trade? No. I didn't scale into this one. Normally, I would like to, and I teach you guys how to scale in the advanced course if you have it on how to do that. But there was no reason for me to scale into this one because well, one, I wasn't paying too much attention because I was already in the green, which if I wanted to, I should have been. I didn't really have any opportunity because every time I was looking at it, it was on the upward mobility side. And by the time it came back down for me to get in and add some more, I wasn't really wanting to push my luck there, so I just let it ride out. Plus, I have 500 shares. And guys, I don't like to turn my gains into losses. Usually, when I'm trading, I'm trading up into the 500 shares. I'm not trading with the 500 shares or more. So like I might start at like 100, 200, and it's moving my average, my dollar cost average up. So I didn't do that here in this trade. Just did that one time, one trade, hotkey, boom, in there. So hopefully that answered your question there, Sally. But I'm not going to go into scaling. I know you have the course, so you can go ahead and just review some of the material on that and walk through that. But I didn't do it this trade. Um, let's see here. Bob said no. So Kim asked, did I use any of did any of the indicators help me stay in the trade on the chart? So the EMAs and the VWAP did help me feel more confident with staying in because again, if it's above the value weighted average price, which it should be for a stock that's moved that much, it wasn't giving me any bearish signals to get out either. Like none of this broke any time until here, guys. Like this at this point, this green line here, I believe that is the either the VWAP or the exponential moving average, I believe. I gotta double check. But until it broke there was no reason for me to get out this trade. And even then, if I would have got out at that point, I'd still be up in the green because remember, I got in right here at 20 something dollars. Sorry if this looks small, guys. Like I said, I normally have this on the bigger screen, but you can go back and look at the chart and kind of play with it yourself as well too. So I had the entry in here, you know, and so because of that, this was actually a really solid entry, guys. If you look um, at that point, but I mean, it should be for as much as it moved during pre-market. There wasn't no bearish sign for me to get out of the trade at that point. So that's another reason why I just let it ride. All these things, the oscillators and the indicators are all telling me like, hey, we're still in bullish territory. Even on the pullbacks, you're still in bullish territory. So until it starts to break that and turn around, I had no reason to get out. So hopefully that answered your question there. Let's see here. James said volume. Yeah, volume played a big indicator. Well, not the volume weighted average price. Now that I'm looking at it here, this indicator here, um, the volume profile, it does show that a lot of traders did enter in on the same area where I did, which was like right here, which is crazy. But yeah, it played a minuscule part. Don't be afraid to get into a trade just because there's a lot of action happening at that price point. That means either that's a good price point or a lot of actions happening there and you just got to decide from there. I mean, it's not really a make or break kind of thing. It's just it's an important level of support where pricing is important to people at that point. So that's what that is. I take the volume price and profile as a grain of salt as well too. Not every indicator. There is no such thing as an all-in-all indicator. I need a combination of a few different things to tell me that I can stay in this trade or I need to get out of this trade. That's just it. And that's going to depend on your strategy and how you trade of what you're looking for. There's over 200 something indicators alone that are out there, guys. You don't need all of them. And there's no magic one. Everything telling you something different. You don't want, because you have one thing telling you one thing and one thing telling you another. You got to make sure that you're understanding what these are. And I teach you guys what each one of those 200 plus are in the advanced course. So if you have that, you should know what that is. And then from there, you're picking and choosing which one is going to be more beneficial for you to read and understand what your strategy is going to do and how it's going to play out, which is why you backtest and journal and study. etc. All right. So yeah, hopefully that answered your question there. I think who else has some questions here? Greg might have had some. Checking the emails too here real quick, guys. Um, yeah, why did I stay in it that long? So again, my strategy, the ride the wave strategy. I know you know Greg, ride the wave because you're in the course. You have the course. So my ride the wave strategy just allowed me to stay into it. Like I said before too, right? There was no reason to get out. I got in at this point. I know at this pricing point stock is either going to go up or down, right? And so my strategy is waiting for it to, get in at a good price, which happened to be there. Normally, I want to entering either when it's red or yellow because I know my risk to the downside is going to be a lot less, and I can just cut my loss if it's starting to stay trending down. But usually, it's not. I want to get into it when the isolators are saying like, "Hey, momentum is slowing down at this point. Get in, and it's still going up." So here, excuse me, like I mentioned what made me so confident to stay in the trade is because one, my strategy, how I do it, two, my risk to reward, and three, that I was already in the profit. So because I got in at this point, and this is happening, oh, I'm in the green, I'm in the green. This is where psychology kicks in. You can be greedy or you can play it safe and sorry. I'm not doing either one of them. I know my pricing point for me to take. My initial goal for a profit take when I got in at 21 was to take it out at 31, no matter it's ups or it's downs. So again, this thing shot up, right? So as it's going here, I'm in the green, 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 I'm in the green. Now I know at this point I could take profits, but because I'm still in the green, there's still growth happening. And now some pullback can happen. I'm not seeing any pullback, so I'm staying in it. Let it ride, let it ride, let it ride. Boom, all the way up to 50 bucks, right? So now I'm really in the green. Now I know that if it's getting here, pullback has to happen, right? So where do I want my level of support to be at? Hopefully somewhere before my profit take portion, right? Which is what? The $31. Where did I come up with that? I mean, where did I come up with that number? I just, again, it's just part of my risk to reward management, what I can take. Every person is different. You got to figure that out as yourself as a trader. Think about it, right? I'm trading with 500 shares. I'm willing to lose all that just because I don't care, because I can. But would you be better off? Would you feel more comfortable psychologically trading 250 shares? How about 100 shares? How about 50 shares? What about one share? Are you willing to let a trade ride out for $20 to see if it goes? Would you be upset if your $21 went down to $17? No. So scaling in and out is a psychological thing as well too, along with your trading your risk reward management, which I teach you guys in the course there. So I stayed in because it felt comfortable for me to be okay with losing whether or not it hit my profit target or not at that point. So I know that it's gone up and it has to come back down. The only thing is just I don't want to see it come down to my profit taking point, which was $31, which was like right around here, which at no point did it, right? I didn't know it wasn't going to do that. That was just, there's no way for you to know what the stock is going to do because other traders are deciding too. Market makers are trying to fix those prices to fit that. You don't know. But this for me is like, hey, I'm comfortable with taking this and if it gets there, calling it a trade. Yeah, I might have missed out on all this, but I'm not going to feel bad that I missed out on it because why? That wasn't part of my strategy in the first place. Everything else was just green. That's just house money. So I stuck here with this, keeping it at $31. If it touched $31, I'm going to get out. But I know because I study and because I had the course and I know like, hey, what my isolator is telling me like it's going to go up, it's going to go down. When it's going down, it's establishing that support for buyers. And if I don't see it crack what I needed to crack, which again is my profit take margin, or the indicators that tell me like, hey, this thing is going bearish now, I have no reason to get out. That's what helped me stay in it so long. So to answer your question, one is knowing my strategy and that my strategy can handle that. Two, because if I'm a scalper, I can't do that. If you scalp and you're probably scalping on the way up or you're scalping on the way down, and you can't handle those twists and turns. My strategy can. So that's one thing. Two, the reason why I stayed in it so long is because of the psychological aspect. I know, I can handle that loss and handle that. I'm comfortable with that. So that's another reason why I stay in there. If I was wrong, then I was wrong. Three is just risk to reward management. That's pretty much it. So those three things are the reason why I stayed in there for that long. And then I believe you had asked me about, um, yeah. So I did see it at 320, but I wasn't into it. Like I mentioned earlier in the video, you guys will never see me get in the trade before it's alerted. Never. That's impossible. Anybody that's doing that, if you're in a group or something like that where someone is getting into a trade and they're really early, they're pumping and dumping. Just point blank, period. Sorry. You guys can go back through every single trade that I post for you guys on Facebook because I only do one trade a day. maybe two or three at the most. And I post every single one, wins and losses for you guys. But that's why my trades are always so green because I know, like, hey, if none of the market's not doing what I'm doing, what I want for my strategy, I'm not doing it. If it is doing it, then boom, I know I'm going to go ahead and profit. So I'm just very confident in that aspect just from doing it from years and years and years and years. But you'll never see me getting a trade before then. Yeah, we got the alert at 320. I didn't bank on it in the pre-market. Other traders did. I saw some of you guys in the group, but I didn't get into it. It didn't work for me at the time. I couldn't find any entry point for me. So that's just it. Um, but, you know, it's not about being early. It's about being right. Because there's times where the stock will spike up and then it'll just drop right back down. That happens. No alerts and no system is going to tell you that before because you don't know the reason why those are moving. There are speculations. It could be because of liquidity sweeps. It could be because quick pop news. It could be insider buying. Anything. It doesn't matter of why the stock will move there. It doesn't matter. I need to see my setup form. If my setup is not forming, I have no reason to get in. And you know, as long as with everyone else, what things I need to see in order for my setup to be where I want it to be to make the trade. I got to see the catalyst. I got to see the volume. I got to see the numbers. I got to see all that. And all that stuff is assessed. Think about it, right? I had all this time in the world. If I saw it at $3.20, that was early in pre-market. I have hours. I have 3 or 4 hours just to even go through and look. Oh, I need to see this. I need to see that number. If I want to check all the boxes off that I tell you guys to check off when I'm looking at my stocks to trade, in one of my A plus setups, you have more than enough time to do that. But see, I've done it so much and I've become so proficient with it, I can just almost look at a stock and click on a few things, glance a few things, say, okay, yeah, this might be worth it for me to trade and get into it. And if it's not going my way, I'm going to go ahead and cut my losses. I have time. I know what to measure my risk and my reward is. I know what that is. You guys got to know all this stuff beforehand. If you don't know it, practice it. Okay. So that's what kind of helped me out. Um, and then I'll answer two more questions. I'm gonna get out of here, guys. Let's see here. All right, so I believe is that Duran. So Duran had asked, let's see here, what the percentages going up and down. What was your range? So again, I didn't really have too much of a range. Like I said, I got in at 21. I was willing to wait for the stock to drop maybe to 15, 10 at the most. I was kind of basing off of pre-market levels, which I like to do a lot of times. So if it's dropping beneath that, I know I need to go ahead and exit if I got in at that point. But again, this right here, this area showed me that I was in a really good spot because this again is a new setup for the price for the stock because it's a different time frame. It's opening bell. Pre-market, I'm gonna take with a grain of salt, but I will use it for support levels, right? And so if I'm getting at 21, I know, hey, if it drops down to like what, 15 there, then I need to get out. That's not a bad ratio. Let's say we do 1 to 1, right? That's a $5 to $5 reward. For me, it's worth it, you know. And I have time to calculate all that stuff. So I was just thinking about that and calculating that all here. That's why I didn't really get in at this point because I didn't see no support until after these things happen here. These are all candlesticks, etc., guys. A lot of these things are lagging indicators. You won't see them until they're done forming, okay? And by then it's going to be too late because it's going to move on to something else, all right? Um, so hopefully that answers your question, Deron. Last one here. Let me scroll down. Were there any others? So yeah, so there was some other stocks I was looking at, guys. OCTO was not the only one we got. We got XAir, we had REPP. That was a good move. GeneXP, KRKR. We had a couple of good moves in the alerts. I mean, today was not too bad. We got a lot of them. But I was only focusing on OCTO because it had the most volume, things like that. Like I told you guys, I only like to do one trade a day. I'm not trying to do everything. I'm not trying to spend one day grabbing all the money I can get. I don't need that. Tomorrow's another day. So be particular with your stocks is what I'm trying to say because you're not you don't want to overload yourself. Decision fatigue is a real thing that I teach you guys in the psychology portion. Okay. So I'm looking at one trade, one strategy. Now you might be able to do that. If you're one of those scalpers or you're one of those people that can do more than one trade in a day, to each his own. Not me. I think for me, that was one of the biggest epic fails in my beginning of my trading career was I was trying to do too much in such a short period of time. Can't do that. Thinking about it now, I'm like, ugh, I wish I would have known that. I would have been better off just sticking to one thing and one trade one day versus what I'm trying to do 3 or 4 or 5 here trades here and there. But that's just because I was also partially being greedy. Want to make as much money as I can, but in that instance, you're making much more mistakes. So Gonna be hard to learn from that. But yeah, I did see other trades in there. There was other good ones. I know some of you guys banked on some of them, which is great. And if you can do that, do that. I'm not saying not to do it. I'm just saying it doesn't work for me. Every trader is different. There's not a single trader in this world that can trade the same as each other. The strategies that they're telling you about, they might be universal, but they're not going to work for everyone every single time and every point. They're all different, okay? So you just got to find out what's good for you. And that's just how it was for me. So, all right, guys, time for me to go. That's pretty much it for the day. Again, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like, comment, subscribe, all the above. The results of my trade is in the Facebook group. It's free, completely free. Join, just click on it. I'll let you guys, excuse me, I'll let you in there. Um, if you have any questions, email me, tag me in a post or something like that. If you're direct messaging me and I'm not seeing it, which I'm probably not, you're probably going to spam. A lot of you guys stuff do. I don't see it till months later. I don't check spam like that. But if you are trying to get in contact with me, guys, please tag me in a post or comment or something like that so I can actually see it because those are the only things I see. Um, you can email me. Those of you who are in the groups or those of you who had the course, you have my direct email. Reach out to me. I'm here to help as much as I can. Again, I want to see you guys succeed as well too. No, and that's completely free. Ask me questions is free, guys. You have someone's brain to pick who's been doing this for years. A lot of you guys have been with me since we started back in 2020. This is almost half a decade now we've been doing this. So shout out to you guys who've been rocking with me and you've been in an alert since then. I really appreciate you. Again, I did design this for you guys, so those of you who aren't in it but have been thinking about it, you might want to consider it because pretty soon, like I was telling the admins, like we're gonna have to just stop like taking people because I do get bogged down with a lot of questions and I don't have the time to be answering all your guys' stuff. And if you think about it, I mean, that's why the course is there for you to be able to study because I can't, it's more of you than there are of me, right? Which is, unfortunate. But think about this too. Taking my time throughout the day to make this video for you guys, I could have just be quiet, sit there, take my 20 grand and call it a day. I don't have to do this. Like, this is not, a do or die kind of situation for me. I trade, I actually do this. So I have no reason to sit here and answer your questions like that. And people complain about, oh man, this stuff is expensive. Well, think about what I've given up. I could be sitting there trading instead of trying to teach you how to do this stuff. I could be living life, but I want to see you guys succeed because if it, when I was in this boat, I didn't have that opportunity. So I just want to kind of pay it forward, especially since I've been so successful with it and try to help traders out as much as I can from what I've learned and what I see, so take advantage of that. If you do have any questions, obviously, I'll give you as much input and information as I can. If something's not clear, let me know. And yeah, I'm here for you guys. So other than that, guys, I hope you have a great rest of the week. We're still early. It's still Monday. Football's back. The market is back. Enjoy the rest of the week, you guys. And I will catch you on the other side. If you have any questions, let me know. Like, comment, subscribe, all of the above. Share it with a friend because people need to know about this stuff. GameStop wasn't just the only thing. Who needs to play the Powerball when you got the stock market, right? Every day's a Powerball here. But I'll catch you guys later. You guys stay green.